Greetings once again, my fellow Star Trek fans, fellow modelers. I'd like to welcome you to another video. And this is going to be an update on the U.S.S. Titan. From Star Trek Picard, we get to see that beautiful starship. And what I want to talk to you guys today is we're going to go through the plan for the lighting scheme. And because the model is not as big, so it wouldn't be as easy to put all the little detail and lighting in, but we're definitely going to be doing the major areas, you know, like the Picard collectors and the nacelles and the deflector dish and the impulse engines. So without further ado, let's go to the model. We'll go to the modeling desk and I'll give you guys my plan and see what you guys think. Okay, so when it comes to the Titan from Star Trek Picard, this model is a good size, but it might not be large enough to do every single little detail when it comes to the lighting. But for the most part, we'll be able to do a pretty good job in lighting up what we need to light, like the bridge area, the impulse engines, of course the nacelles. And the way the nacelles are going to come out of the secondary hull, there are lights, kind of like spotlights, that go up on top of it. Actually, I had it upside down. That are going to actually illuminate the nacelle pylons. So why don't we, right now I'm going to show you guys, we're going to take a look at the Titan. And we're going to look at all the lights in some more detail.
Okay, so when it comes to the U.S.S. Titan, the ship herself is just massive, and she's the Neo Constitution class starship. Now, when it comes to the lighting, all the windows are going to be white. So the lighting, we're going to do the drilling on all the windows, and we're going to make we're probably going to use either LED tape, or we're going to use the 5mm, the LEDs. But I like the frosted kind as opposed to the clear, because the clear might tend to make hot spots. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put a spray paint coat of black on the inside of the parts, and then we're going to put the chrome. And then if there are any hot spots, what I'm going to do is we'll put a little bit of aluminum foil in to eliminate it. We're looking at the ship. The windows will be white, and because she's a Constitution class, we have the usual blue deflector dish, and we've got the beacons on the saucer section, and we have the red for port and green for starboard, as well as the registration numbers are lit on the top and on the bottom. And there are B and C decks. You can see that there are windows, and basically what we'll do, we'll drill them out and we'll make it just like the regular Constitution class. Now when you look at underneath of the saucer section, first of all, the saucer section is unique in the fact that it's not completely round. It looks more like a battle axe head. And when you look at the bottom, there are also lights that are on the sides of the raised panels. So I'm not sure if these are windows or beacon lights, but again, we've got the red and the green beacons that are going to be on the bottoms, as well as the light that lights up the registration number. And the Sensidome is lit up, as is the bridge. And on the back of the primary hull, they have the impulse engines that are in the cut of the saucer section. And the impulse engines go all the way into the back. And when it comes to the back of the ship, you have the impulse engines that are just a lot. There's a lot of impulse engines on the back of the primary hull. They have the sections with the decks. I can't even guess how many decks that this would take up. But the shape in the back of the ship the way the shape is, you've got 4 sections of the impulse engines that we're going to have to light. And I'm going to have to make sure that that's going to be red, the clear red, as well as the sections on the ends on either side that's actually on the saucer section itself. Whereas the saucer pylon has a lot on it. It's very meaty compared to the other Constitution class ships. So that's going to be red for the impulse engines. And looking all the way aft, where the shuttle bay is, the shuttle bay doors are illuminated. It does have the yellow, green, and the red lights like the original Enterprise did. And when it comes to lighting the back of the ship, I don't know, because the model's not that big, so we might hold off on lighting the doors of the shuttle bay. But they're actually tiny little lights that run along her back. But I don't know if we're going to be able to do all that. We're probably just going to be able to do the major lighting parts. So the back of the ship, that's definitely major, is all those impulse engines. The side of the ship, you got the nacelles. The Bassard collectors are going to be red, and the nacelles are going to be blue. And it kind of, in fashion with the Enterprise D, the blue wraps around through the back to the other side in the back section of the nacelles. And then in the back, you've got the the red and the green beacons for port and starboard. At the base of the nacelle pylon, there are several lights that are lighting it, probably to show the immense size of the ship. And there's a white beacon on top at the front part of the nacelle. So we're definitely going to do the nacelles, the blue and the red. We're going to do the impulse engines. And then looking at the front of the ship, obviously we got to do the deflector dish. That's going to be blue. And there are 2 impulse crystals that are underneath the primary hull that are on either side of the saucer pylon. And those are blue. So those are going to be lit. And basically that's going to be the lighting plan for this ship. Because of the size, we're not going to be able to do a lot of the tiny little lights. I guess we could run fiber optic, but we'll see how it goes. But that's basically the basic plan. We're going to do the red, the blue, the white. All the lights are going to be white. And then the beacons for port and starboard are going to be green and red. And the impulse engines are going to be red. And we're going to do the lighting on top and on the bottom of the primary hull, as well as the impulse crystals. So hopefully she's going to look fantastic, and that's the lighting plan so far. That's what we're going to light.
So that being said, I want to show you guys my plan for the Titan. And excuse my drawing, it's just a couple of scribbles that I put down. But for the ship itself, again, the way not a studio model, the CGI, but the way she appears on film, there are just lights all over the place. So I'm thinking we're going to do, this is a plan for the basics, like taking a look at the starboard side. You can see the nacelles that we're going to be putting blue. The red is going to be the section of the primary hull that's kind of cut out, and there are impulse engines in there on both sides. And we got the registry markings, that's going to be white, and that'll be on the top as well. Looking at let's see, this is the starboard side, I'm sorry, that was the port side. And you can see the same thing, the nacelles that we're going to light, and this is for the inner chiller grills for the nacelles as well. And we're going to have the white lights. The windows are all going to be white, so the windows will be lit, and that's going to be white. The different colors, we're going to have red and blue, again for the nacelles and the impulse engines. And we're actually also going to do the red and the green for the beacons for port and starboard. And like I was showing you guys, the impulse engines in the back, there's quite a bit that's going to light. So when we actually look at the ship, and then we look at what we have to work with on the model. So let me kind of put the halves together so we can kind of get an idea. So the way the model kit is made, like that, and you can see there is a gap, so we're going to actually be able to put the impulse engines on either side. And there are some areas where we can light the windows too, because we can drill this out. But when it comes to the impulse engines, let's see, there's other pieces to it. Now let me see if I can show them to you. Offhand, I don't see the back, but they're either side, and then it kind of comes down over here, and there's a lower section. And we're going to light those as well. This is the secondary hull. You can see where we're going to put the light in for the deflector dish. And towards the back, I know the actual screen version, there's lights on the doors of the shuttle bay, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. But you can see there are windows that we're going to be taking care of, and the other major section going to be the nacelles. And the way this model is made, they did a really good job. This is almost like a resin plastic that came out of a mold. That's how high quality these pieces are. And we've got the clear pieces that we're going to put in. We're going to put the blue. Let me show you guys the other sections of the nacelle. Let's see, bring it together like that. And you can see how cool that's going to look. So we got the piece that's going to go all the way around on the back of the nacelle. And on the front, we're going to have the Picard collector. And there's actually a light here on top, a beacon, and they actually put a hole there for lighting. So this is a really good light-friendly kit. You can see where the back is going to go. And let's see, I want to show you guys the nacelle pylons, because I'm thinking we're going to have to use the really, really fine wires in order to get the lighting to the nacelles. So we'll use the really tiny little LEDs that we're going to run through. And what I want to point out also is they suggest using a little brass rod that's going to go in here, and I'll put the picture up for you guys of what they suggest. And that's going to keep the nacelles from drooping over time. Show you guys the way, kind of the way it's going to look. But on the secondary hull, let's see, is this the right? It's going to kind of go like that. Excuse me, it's backwards. Anyway, they're going to be spotlights that are going to be coming up on the nacelle pylon. And I was thinking how we could do that, because if we just drill a hole into the secondary hull where each light is, it might not necessarily go up and have the effect that I want. But if we do the small lights, the little tiny little lights, we can actually bring them to the surface and angle them up. So it's actually going to have that spotlight effect. So there are a couple of things that I'm looking forward to when it comes to that. But as we go along, we can add, or we can omit some of the plans. But for the basic plan, this is what I have planned. The impulse engines, the nacelles, the deflector dish, all the windows. Of course, all the windows are going to be lit. And the next step now is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to prep the pieces. Now they say on the website that we need the special CA glue for this kit, for the resin. But other than that, you can treat it as any other plastic kit. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wash all the parts in soapy water, let them dry, and then we're going to move on. I'm going to actually start prepping the inside. We're going to put a coat of black for the light blocking, and then we're going to put a coat of the chrome. Let me show you guys. So I like the chrome from the Rust-Oleum. So let's see, do I have the black offhand? I'm going to use the Rust-Oleum. We're going to use the black, and that's going to go on the inside of the parts. And when that's dry, we're going to use the chrome. That way there, hopefully we won't have any hot spots or light leak. And I was thinking about what we're going to use actually to light the model. But because of the lack of space, I don't know if I'm going to be using the LED tape. Possibly in the primary hull on the bottom. We'll see how it goes. But for the most part, we're going to be using the small lights. And let me show them to you. We're going to be using these, and these actually need resistors. Let me just try to get one that's got a resistor on it. They're so tiny. But you can see, because it's so small, and we actually have to put a resistor on, so we'll actually have to do some soldering. Actually, let me show you guys. We're doing the U.S.S. Reliant build. And one of the things with the Reliant is I wanted to illuminate the registry markings. So we have one of those lights that I drilled and I put it in the front, and we're using the coin battery power pack. So let me go ahead and light it up. And you can see how it really comes in handy on how small they are. So we're going to use a lot of these lights to light the Titan. And I'm thinking we can do the same thing with the registry markings on the top and on the bottom of the saucer section. And there were also, let me put this back aside, I just wanted to show you guys the bulbs and how they look. So let's put this to the side. And we can put them throughout the primary hull and the saucer section and a secondary hull. This might be large enough. We can actually put the LED tape, and there are a couple of things that would look better with the LED tape, like the impulse engine crystals that are on either side of the saucer pylon. Let's see offhand. Can I see the saucer pylon and show you guys? I don't know offhand where those pieces are. But anyway, the saucer pylon, on either side, they're going to have the impulse crystals. So this is going to be really fun. So in the next video, I'm going to show you guys the process of I'm going to prep the parts, and we're actually going to be painting the insides to get it ready. And then we can think about putting on the base coat, and we can think about putting it together. And the lighting is going to be really fun. I love lighting them, and especially with this model kit. And this is such a high quality kit. It's nice and thick. I mean, the saucer section, the plastic, it's like 1/8 of an inch thick. It's really rugged. So it's a real high quality model, and the fact that it's resin and came from a 3D printer just blows my mind because of the detail. And you can see where the sensor dome is going to be, and we can actually light the different sections. And because those lights are so small, it's going to make it easy to work with. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video, and the next video we're going to start moving on prepping the parts. So thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.